Hey guys, welcome back to the third video of Chrome extension tutorial. In previous video, we saw how to create an index.html and how to get the image dynamically. But once we click on the new tab, of course, it's nothing happening because we have to overwrite. Now we are going to do that. It's very simple. So we have to use this permission like Chrome URL overrides, and we are going to specify that within the manifest.json. So here I'm going to say that, and here we have to say like page to override. There are three things we can do. We can override the bookmarks or the history or the new tab. In my case, we are going to use this new tab, and here I have to specify the page that is going to be index.html. Since the index.html is within the root level, we don't have to specify any path, just we can specify the name. Now if I go back and if I refresh my extension, then if I click on this new tab, you can see like Google will ask you like whether you want to change. No, I don't want to change, so we'll keep it. And if I use Control plus T, that is used to open a new tab, of course we can see our page is coming correctly, right? So first thing, we are done with the Chrome extension property. Now we are going to build the UI in this video. Okay, so let's take a look on the UI what we have created already. So it's very simple actually. So we can see like we have one quote here, quotes, and this is for the weather, and here we have a big text box, and here we have a small text box, and when we add something, that's going to be in the list of check boxes. Okay, we'll cover that. This is going to be very dynamic, so we'll cover that in separate video. As of now, we are going to build this four components. This first one is this, second one is this, and third and fourth. Okay, it's going to be very simple. So if you know Bulma CSS, that's going to be very easy. If you do not know, then also it's going to be very easy. I'll try my best to make it simple. Okay, so first of all, except the main background, we are going to remove everything. Okay, and here one div is extra, but yeah, the section is extra. Okay, now we have this very basic, so I'm going to right click and open with live server. By the way, that's a Chrome extension, sorry, VS Code extension. You can just go here and you can search for live um, server, and that's it. Okay, now let's go back to our index.html, and here we are going to build. First of all, we want this one, so left hand side one, right hand side one, right? So we'll separate or we'll segregate based on the sections. So first of all, we'll say like section, and here this is, let's give some ID. Okay, so this is going to be for my not here. So within the section, we are going to create two columns. Okay, before that, we'll wrap this within a container so that we'll have a nice space around the columns. Then we are going to specify div dot columns, COLUMNS columns, and within the columns we want two columns, so div dot column, and again we want one more column. Okay, so COLUMN. That's it. We are pretty much done with the first one. So just to make sure, here I will say like within the p tag, I'm going to say like I will get some quotes, and here we are going to get some weather. Okay, let's go and see. So here you can select, we are getting this one, and here you're getting this one. So but I want this guy to be in at the right hand corner, not in this middle. Okay, why this is happening? In the sense, columns basically have their flex properties. By default, it will try to keep next to one. Okay, so if I go to the bulma.io, and if you go and check the documentation, and if you go to the column, and if you go to the basic, you can see like first column, second column, based on the number of columns we have, it will auto resize. But in our case, it's different. We want to keep some size, right? So what we'll do, we'll set the sizes here. Right now, let's go to the responsiveness, and let's go to the gap. I think gap is the correct one. Yeah, okay. So by default, it's going to be like a 12. So we are going to say like it's 0 is 1, and like that we are going to set some size. Okay, so you can see it has 12. So first of all, we'll set like this one, right? So this one is going to be like maybe we can say like up to 4 columns or up to 3 columns we want to have this one. Okay, and this guy is going to capture the space of 2. Okay, so 3 plus 5, and remaining we have 7, right? So if I go and see this now, you can see it becomes very tidy. It becomes very close to each other, but we don't want that. So we'll create a dummy column here, and here I'm going to say is 7. Okay, so 7 plus 3 10 plus 2 12, so totally we have 12 columns. Now you can see left hand side we have this guy and right hand side we have this guy. Okay, now of course I can give some decoration to that. We'll come back to this later on. Okay, now the first section is over. Second section is going to be our input box, right? So for your reference, let me open this. So here you can select, we have this section. So this is my first column, this is my second column, and here we are going to have this text box, right? So let's go and do that. So I'm going to create one more section with a class called section, and then I'm going to create a div dot container, and now we want the input, right? So let's go to the documentation, and here I'm going to say element and then followed by form. Okay, not element, form, and here we have the input, right? So we are going to take this input from here, and I think this is the one we want, so I'm just going to copy this, but we'll wrap that within a div dot control, and then we'll paste it. Okay, control in the sense it will have some not this one, have some extra spaces which will look good. Okay, let's go back and check here. Yeah, this is fine, but I don't want this much. I want this to be little small, right? Like in this UI. So what we can do is we can wrap that within a column. So div dot column, and then we are going to say I want this guy to be is dash half. Now let's go and check. Yeah, it's look half face size, but it's in the left hand side. I want this to be in the center, right? So what we can do is we can say like is dash center, and I think that should work fine. No. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just cut this one and we'll wrap this within another columns. So CEO, and we'll make the columns as center, and then we'll just wrap this within this one. Okay, now let's go back and check something changed. Nothing is changed. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, it's correct. Only thing is it should be centered, not its center, it should be centered. Now you can see we are able to get this, right? So we are able to achieve similar kind of UI. So here we have, but you can see we have something like focus, right? So we are going to add that as well. So here we'll say like is large and then is dash focused, and also the placeholder we are going to change, right? So we are going to say like kon ho tum. Kon ho tum means it's a Hindi word, like who are you, that's it. Of course you can add as per your wish. I'm just doing for simplicity. Okay, so here we can see like we are getting, and we will make this as a primary so that it will be like green color. So is dash primary, and yeah, that's it. Very cool, right? Now let's go and add one more section where we are going to maintain the um, to do. Okay, so this is going to be of class section, and within this I'm going to say div dot container, and then I'm going to create a div dot control. We'll bring this within the columns as well. So column minus columns, and I want another div dot column. Okay, and this guy is also going to be is dash centered, and this guy is going to be also is dash half, so that we'll get in the middle. And then we want a div dot form, not form, it should be control, and then we want div dot input. Okay, and here we are going to have a placeholder, not this one, placeholder equals, we'll say like any plan to walk. I'm just trying to mimic as we saw in the first video. Yeah, so let's go and refresh, and here it's not working because, yeah, my bad, that should be input, not div. Okay, now let's go back and yeah, this is fine, right? So we are able to get this. I will just have this one little nicer. Okay, so let's close this one, and here, okay, so this can be like we can change the color, maybe like I can select has text. We can go with like primary, So this will look like this, and this guy I want this to be little big and whiter, right? Whitier, what do we call that? Anyways, so has text, and this is going to be white, and then has text. We are going to make this little bold, so weight bold. Okay, let's go and check. Okay, since it's very white, we are not able to see that. Let's go and refresh. Yeah, we are able to see it, but this, we are not able to see it actually properly. Okay, so let's fix that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect this one, and okay, first of all we'll wrap this within a trans. What is trans? We are going to create the trans. Okay, so let me not debug mode. Let's go to the element, and within the div we have a div called trans, right? So here we are going to add a background color. Okay, so background color, and let's say that it's going to be kind of black. Okay, and yeah, and we'll just try to do the transparency. Okay, so here you can select as per here. Now we are able to see the text properly, also the image, and this looks like a some kind of transparent effect, right? So I'm just going to copy this value, and here I'm going to add one more class called trans, and then I'll say the background color, and this is the color I want. Okay, yeah, this looks nice now, and let's try to add the opacity, maybe opacity 1. Okay, nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens, so we don't need to add the opacity. Okay, that's it, we are pretty much done. And one more problem, you can see the transparency is basically on the top, not in the bottom, because this is the div place. So we are going to do the same, so we'll say height equal to 100 viewport. Okay, now fine, so we are getting the quotes, and probably you can change this to white as well, so that will look little good. So what we can do is, instead of primary, I can call it like light. Yeah, light is fine. And also, if the quote is really long, it will look little different, so we'll change to increase the font as well. So has text, what are the text? We have a lot of things here. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Maybe after a while we can change this as per requirement. Okay, so that's it, pretty much done. We are mostly done with the UI. Let's go take a look. So we have the codes, we have the URL, and this guy is going to be rounded, right? So let's do that. So within this input, I'm going to add one more class, and I'm going to say is rounded. Okay, now let's go and refresh. Nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened. I think this is the class name for that. Let's go to the documentation, and yeah, is rounded, input is rounded, correct only, but okay, we are changing the first one, we have to change the second one, right? So my bad. Anyway, that also looks good, so I'll probably keep that as well. So is rounded, and let's go and do, yeah, now we can see. Okay, the below part is going to be dynamic, so we'll write it completely with the help of JavaScript. We'll see that in the next video.